Okay, this will be a challenging one. It's only a small picture. We've got to enlarge it big. And let's see if we can make it look any good. One day I'm going to make it 400 for this. Okay, let's see how this looks. See what we have. We have here a wine leaflet, and we're interested in these two wine glasses clinking together. So we're going to make, maybe that's going to be the top. So we're going to make this into something more interesting. I'm going to enlarge it 400%. So we just try and see roughly where we can put these. It's a little bit tricky, trying to get it nicely lined up. Yeah, I'm not into wine. I'm not into alcohol. I don't drink alcohol. I used to have sweet alcoholic drinks occasionally and in moderation. I made sure of it that I never got drunk or tipsy. And I just didn't drink any more than, say, one serving of alcohol. One serving, that was all I was interested in, not drinking any more than that. Now that looks interesting, but we've got that part there. Wondering which way we're going to move it. Which way are we going to move this? I think it's the top. I think we've got to move it this way to the left. Got to move it to the left. I could be wrong. No, move it to the left. Move it right. I fucked up, sorry folks. I'm going to move it right. Move it all the way right. Do it right. Move it right. But yeah, I just never been interested in getting drunk. I have a close relative who drinks, and seeing her drunk when I was really young turned me right off. In fact, I didn't drink any alcohol until I was... actually my dad used to allow me to have sips of beer, but it was just a sip. That would be considered wrong nowadays. Now I'm wondering, we're going to use this as our master copy. But I don't even like the taste of beer anyway. But, I used to sip it when I was a kid, but it never gave me any desire to get drunk or to experiment with getting drunk. It's just something I've never had any liking for. And I didn't have an actual glass of alcohol until I was about 15. It was Carrington Blush was what it was called. But basically I just didn't have any interest whatsoever in getting drunk or trying it out or experimenting. A lot of kids did. A lot of kids just loved getting drunk, going to parties and shit. And it just never appealed to me. But I wasn't going to parties anyway when I was in high school. I didn't get on with many of the people, and I had more enemies than friends. Heaps of enemies, folks. Heaps of bullies. There wasn't anything good about being at school. It wasn't my cup of tea. So yeah, I just had to deal with the shit that went down at school. I could never make friends. I could never engage with people. it was a horrible place going to school. Going to school was just really bad. And yeah. But I was expected to do well as well, and I just didn't do well scholastically or socially. And my father really took offence to that, and he treated me like shit, and he still does, because my dad sees me as a failure. He sees me as someone that's just fucked up, that hasn't done anything useful, and he sees my art as a form of failure. He doesn't appreciate what I do with the photocopier, so I have to fucking, deal with things I did wrong myself, which have fucked up everything else. I'm going to move this one. I'm going to make it into a movement piece. But basically, yeah, I could never do anything right in school. And people wondered why I hated school and why I hated education. Because education equaled bullshit, rubbish. There was no fun. Trying to learn in a school environment with the disability that I had, and I can't learn I can't work in a normal job, and I still haven't had my brain damage actually diagnosed. So a lot of expectations were thrown on my shoulders, and not having a diagnosis to explain why I just couldn't study and why I couldn't understand things, why I hated learning, because it was so fucking hard. I had brain damage at birth. I had a cord around my neck and I came out breech. And because of that, I suspect that the hippocampus and the short-term memory have been damaged severely. And I can't learn. You can't learn without good hippocampus and short-term memory function. You can't learn. And learning has even got much harder for me over the years. I'm getting old, right? We all get old, and when we get old, it takes away. It means that we all know the brain cells start to become depleted. You lose brain cells when you get old, but when you've got short-term memory damage and hippocampus damage, like what I've got, the aging process becomes more apparent. You become more forgetful. You can't remember that song you heard on the radio. Those sorts of things. You just can't do anymore. So you got to basically, people have got to be a little bit more understanding. But my parents wanted me to do year 12 and to become to go to uni. Obviously they wanted me at uni, and I didn't know I had brain damage. I thought I was pretty well normal-ish, and I wanted to become a photocopier technician, so I had ambitions. I didn't know I was disabled either, but all this fucking pressure to perform, and the short-term memory, you just can't live without it. You can't. The hippocampus, incidentally, is what converts short-term memory into long-term memory. So having both hippocampus and short-term memory damaged extensively, well, yeah, you can't expect me to be a fucking scholastic genius. You can't expect me to perform. You can't expect. But no, there was no diagnosis, there was nothing. I even went to special school because I had a fight with one of the boys in primary school, and he fucking picked a fight, and I defended myself, and I scratched him, and I caused the injury, so I got in trouble, and I ended up going to a fucking special school. And even they couldn't understand why I was the way that I was. So, I just got a lot of blame for all the shit that I had. All the bullying, all the fuck. How could I like school? How could I enjoy education when the joy was just taken away by all this shit? All these fucking idiots that hated me. What did I do fucking wrong to deserve it? You know, honestly, folks. I'm trying to work on what I'm good at, and this is what I'm good at. Dad doesn't appreciate it. It's his fucking loss, because I'm going to make it big with this shit. You know, I'm going to make it big. I'm going to do something with my talent. I'm not going to fucking bury this talent in the ground so that my dad can be happy. He can go fuck himself, you know? He can go fuck himself and his scholastic bullshit. That's all in the past anyway. It's all fucking finished. But this looks really nice. I think now we can call this demo quits.